Welcome back, Gale Force, and today we're going to be doing episode 2 of my series Planning for Specific Maps, or PFSM for short. We'll be taking a look at specific notorious maps in Fire Emblem and discussing some of the best ways to tackle them. Several of you requested Battle Before Dawn from FE7, so today we'll take a look at it. We'll assume you're on Hector Hard mode, as that is the mode which provides the most difficulty for this chapter. So, what makes Battle Before Dawn so notorious? It's a fog of war map, which every Fire Emblem fan loathes, but that's far from all. Both the Delphi shield and the boots are in chests on this chapter on opposite sides of the map, and both will have thieves going after them. As if that wasn't enough, there's three units that need protecting on this map: Jafar, Prince Zephiel, and Nino. Zephiel is smack dab in the center of the map, and while he can usually hold his own, this becomes questionable in Hector Hard mode. As if all that wasn't enough, the boss of this chapter, Ursula, will rain down bolting on units within her range. So, how do you manage it? We'll discuss a few strategies, as you'll need a variety of unit types to really succeed here. You'll almost certainly want to bring Marcus here if you've trained him as well as Heath. Their high movement speed as well as capability to actually take a few hits make them exceedingly useful. Due to the amount of distance you'll want to cover this map, a promoted Eliwood can be useful to ferry around Hector. On top of that, Priscilla should come if she is able to use the physics staff. Axe users are not recommended here as the majority of enemies either use axes or swords. Among your non mounted units, I would recommend Pent, Harkin, or Corel, and both of your thieves depending on which plan you wish to follow. So, for planning, let's start with what most players will aim to do: split your army into two and attack from both sides. Doing this is extremely risky due to Maxime's high stats as well as the lack of combat options you'll have if one of your units misses. If you can succeed in beating Maxime with just a few units, however, this approach is the optimal way to protect every green unit as well as obtain the boots. You'll want to send one of your thieves along with Heath, Pent, and probably your dancer to the left and all of your other units to the right. Your biggest issue will be Maxime and the hero before the first door on the right. There is also an enemy bishop behind the door, but he is much less of an issue. Jafar will, for the most part, be able to handle himself until the later parts of the chapter after you've successfully pickpocketed the boots with a thief and the Delphi shield with your other. After that, all you have to do is send a few strong units toward the center to protect Zephiel and retreat everyone else using your physics staff at a distance to heal your center crew if they get into any significant danger. This strategy is probably the most commonly employed way to attack the map, but it's extremely risky. Allow me to propose a few ways to cut down on that risk. Strategy 2: pushing the right side exclusively. While it may seem like a sin, this is one of the few times in Fire Emblem where I actually think it's okay to sacrifice the boots. There isn't much you'll need them for at this point in the game anyway. Instead, bring only one thief and replace your other with a stronger combat unit like a trained Wrath. By using your Wrecking Ball of Death to push up the right, you can quickly get to Nino and, ideally, get her to Jafar in time to talk to him and get the Guidance chapter. If you do this effectively and quickly, you can even catch the thief with the boots and Brave Lance before they can escape, nabbing back one of the items. This has the added bonus of pushing through in front of Zephiel's room, effectively protecting him in the process. This strategy takes some rewards off the table for a significant boost to your safety and odds of success. Strategy 3: forsake Nino and the Gaiden chapter. While I really don't recommend using the strategy because it involves putting everyone's beloved cinnamon roll at risk, you can also choose to push up to the left and have far greater odds of getting all the items as a result. The thieves start coming in at turn 2 from the stairs in the middle of the map, which is closer to the left chest than the right. By pushing up in the same direction as Jafar, you can potentially cut them off and deal with Maxime with the bulk of your army. This will make the map significantly easier, but it almost certainly guarantees Nino will die unless you are exceptionally fast in getting back to her. And if Nino dies, you'll also be giving up your chance at the Fell contract and an assassin. Two, really, as Jafar won't join you without that Gaiden chapter. While this is perhaps the safest way to handle the map overall, it severely hampers your long term gains, and so I only recommend this if you have no intention of using Jafar, Nino, or promoting a thief past this point, and you won't miss the items from the Gaiden chapter either. I hope this has given you some ideas on how to approach this map in the future. And if you like this kind of content, let me know and I'll consider making more of it. And if you feel like showing me some love, you can either subscribe if you haven't already, check out my Patreon, or become a YouTube channel member. Speaking of which, a special thank you to patrons 60 Sweep, Gorilla Danny, and Bosnia for subscribing at the Paladin tier, and Average Stat Pat and Caius Griffin for subscribing at the Great Lord tier. And also, To YouTube members Jerry for joining at the Paladin tier and Caius Griffin, who again joined at the Great Lord tier. I'd really appreciate if you checked out the links in the description if you can, but otherwise, have a great rest of your day.